Hello guys, it is Dane here again, and today it is another episode of League Racing in AOR. As you can see, we are in Britain, we are at the circuit of Silverstone, and without wasting any of your time, I would like to show you the fastest lap of my qualifying session. The first two corners are completely flat. I managed to use the whole track and hit every apex, and as I headed down the third and the fourth, I hit the brakes at the right moment, and I did hit all the apex and had very good exits, and that's why, as you can see, I am already a tenth up on my previous delta time. Heading to the first part of the second sector, the long left and right hander is crucial, but unfortunately I missed the apex a little bit there and it compromised my racing line, so it wasn't ideal and I lost a bit of time there, unfortunately. Heading to Cops, absolutely the fastest corner of the race calendar. We take it flat out in the quali and in the race as well, but with worn tires in the slipstream it will be very challenging. Getting through the left section, the fast left left combination of the corners, I managed to hit them all pretty nicely, but maybe too cautiously, to be honest. I could have carried a little bit more speed in there. Opening DRS in the long straight, and there are only a few corners left. In this long right-hander I missed the apex a little bit, and that's why I went wide with 4 wheels, but I didn't get my lap invalidated. It was not on purpose, and with that I didn't win any time and got any advantage. The last 3 corners I made them pretty good, and I tried to keep the car stable all along. All in all, this lap was a 26.4, which put me to the third row of the grid. We will start the race from P5, which is not a terrible result, but it was very close and definitely could have been a little bit better. The race is a one-stop race. My strategy is to come into the pit between lap 8 and 10 and put the soft compound, so the middle compound available on my car, and run. Luckily the weather was dry all along. As the video shows, I had an average getaway. I could slot in front of Photon, but at the front the Ferrari and the Williams made a little contact with each other, and since I want to avoid any risk and damage, I needed to brake, of course paying attention to the cars behind as well. This is the reason why I got overtaken by my teammate around the outside, because his line was not blocked and compromised, and my esports teammate Veloce Dornier then did put me under pressure in the first section as well, but getting the better exit and the slipstream I managed to defend it. But still I lost a position and I am only P6 after the race start, which is not ideal. My plan was to gain positions and not to lose them. In the first lap of the race I always try to be quite aggressive and I always put my fuel to rich, and I try to attack this time as well, but in this fast track, basically where all of the sections are built up from very fast corners, it is extremely hard to stay close and overtake. And my teammate Photon got the advantage of the slipstream in the straights ahead and or from ahead, and I couldn't get any closer to him. I really wanted to overtake him, to be honest, but of course fairly, because in our team, as it's usual, the car in front gets the priority in the strategy, and I couldn't beat any lap that I wanted, and I do not really like that, to be honest. But as I have mentioned it a lot in this track, if the cars have similar pace, it is very hard to overtake, and the turbulent air effect is like in real life, so it's an existing thing. And also, if you use a lot of rich mixture, your engine will overheat and lose from its performance, and it is another thing that we as racers don't want at all. The first two, Marcel and Brandon, was battling with each other. Marcel started from the pole position, but after Brandon managed to get past him, and there was Carrix in the third position, who was also lapping faster compared to Hamilton in the Williams, who definitely compromised mine and Photon's race. We couldn't get past him yet. A few laps later, Carrick started to attack Marcel, who fell back to second for that time, and they made a bit of contact, at least on our screen, and that's why the Ferrari lost a bit of its front wing. But here an interesting part comes. As you can see on our screen, Marcel Kiefer's car was spun, and this scared Hamilton a little bit in the Williams and forced him into a mistake. I was also desperate to avoid any contact. Luckily the car was a ghost, or in another universe that car was not even there, because strangely the reality is that Marcel Kiefer and Carrix did make a contact, at least on Carrix's screen, but Marcel Kiefer didn't feel any of it, and he didn't spin at all. He was still in the second position, slotted behind Brandon Lee, the eSport champion. and Photon didn't even see Marcel Kiefer on the track. So actually, it was just the second Marcel Kiefer in our screen, basically a clone, an AI who spin, but Marcel Kiefer was still in front. So strange stuff, but this can happen in this game sometimes. There are problems that Codemasters work really hard on to solve, and I really believe that. But as you can see, that was the reason why my teammate could eventually overtake the Williams of Hamilton. After that, we all started to attack Carrick's, the Ferrari who damaged his front wing, as I have already mentioned, and he compromised both of our lines, and I tried to attack him and overtake him as soon as possible and maybe gain an advantage on Hamilton and Photon as well, but I needed to be cautious to not block his racing line, because I knew that he would come into the pit. After that, we all came into the pit to complete our first and the only pit stop. I stayed out for the longest, but because of my teammates' Photon weak outlap and my very strong in lap, I managed to get and gain a position on him. I had 2 laps fresher tires compared to Hamilton, and I was behind him, and I started to attack him as soon as possible. The server was a little bit strange in this case as well, to be honest, and I don't know if there was any slipstream, because sometimes I could gain a decent momentum on his back in the straights, sometimes I couldn't get any closer at all. Sometimes my engine overheated, sometimes it did not. I even asked in Discord if everything is okay with the server, because I knew that some lag will be involved again, unfortunately. On the other hand, it was a really exciting battle, and I truly hope that you are enjoying it and will enjoy it as well. It was probably the best battle of the season so far. I was very close. I tried to make an attack at any point of the track, of course with keeping both our cars on the track and without making any contacts. And maybe you don't feel it from the screen, but I was on the limit of my skills, of my talent, and of the setup and of the car. I was really motivated to overtake him, and I was pushing like a hell. I switched to different fuel modes to cool my engine and maybe to charge battery, and to have a maximum performance on those parts where I need to have it. I tried from the inside, I tried from the outside, and I am so grateful to Hamilton, who kept it clean all along and always left the space that we needed to survive. I was a little bit frustrated because we definitely lost a bit of time with that, and it totally stole the chance of me trying to challenge for the second place or even the victory, because I had the pace. But on the other hand, as I have already mentioned, this was one of the most exciting part of my race and of my whole season, and I enjoyed it a lot. And basically with this battle I would like to end this video. These were my highlights from the British GP in Apex Online Racing. I recorded that with my new PC. I got it from Veloce Esports, and I'm really grateful to them for it. If you follow us on Twitter and this social media stuff, you have already known it. And this is not the best quality because I messed up a few settings in the driver and in the program that I use for recording, so it will definitely get even better. I don't want to spoil the outcome of our battle yet, but as I have already mentioned, I had the pace of the first two, but I got holding up here and there in the race, as I told, and you saw my strategy was compromised a little bit. My race start was compromised. First and the second stint both were compromised, so I could not go and battle it out with Marcel Kiefer, my fantastic ex-teammate in AOR, and Brandon Lee, who were pretty strong in this weekend again, and they finished in the first two positions. But yet I will not spoil our battle with Hamilton, and I just would like to let you enjoy for the rest part of the video. But yes, I don't have anything left to say, and I don't want to have just a random commentary where I speak about nothing. My emotions are nice. I finished in a podium position, and the strength of field in AOR PC Split 1 is extremely strong. And I really enjoyed the weekend, to be honest. I always want to achieve better and better results, but I just want to let you enjoy the rest part of the video, our battle with Hamilton. And I just want to be shut up, to be honest. I congratulate again to Brandon Lee and Marcel Kiefer. They had an amazing race pace. And I messed up a few video settings, as I have already mentioned. Videos will be even better. So if you just press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and maybe share this video with your friends, it would be absolutely awesome. And you would help me a lot. And yes, this is what I asked for, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, see you in the next one.